If you got to spend more than like $7.85 to watch this movie, I probably wouldn't do it. Does he hate young people? Why in all these movies is Harrison Ford have an issue with his kids? I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Captain America: Brave New World. Now, I caught this movie. I've seen a lot of the hate going around. I typically like Anthony Mack movies. Marvel's been very, very hit or miss. So I figure I'd go check this out, give it a real honest opinion. Me and Erica caught it. So let's just start off with we're going to go right to the gold here. We're starting straight up with the action. It's an action movie. The fighting is pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good. There's a lot of fun stuff he's doing with the wings, a lot of fun stuff with the movement. The Hulk is definitely acting like the Hulk. He's doing a lot of fun stuff. I like how they used the Hulk with just the ability to rampage, break things, and destroy stuff. That part was dope. Some of the fights were pretty good, but there's some people that the Falcon squares up with, and he ain't doing too hot, and it's kind of confusing if he's supposed to be the ace. Didn't really put him in the best of lights. Let's just put it that way. But he's clearly well trained. They make sure you know that part's good. So the fighting and the action, I probably give it a 3 out of 5. There's nothing to write home about, but it's all right. When we get to the rest of the movie, here's where it really starts to fall apart. Here's the real problem. One, if you've seen the trailer, you know what the movie's about. Captain America is now a black man, and there's a transition happening there. He's trying to do things differently. He's still working with Isaiah Bradley, the original Captain America, pre-Steve Rogers. There's some stuff I forget what his partner's name, but he's training up a new Falcon, Latin dude, not sure what his name was, but it was cool. Lil Falcon. We're going to call him Lil Falcon. Pequeño Falcon. So it's cool. It wasn't nothing really crazy about it, but it was an okay story. When you watch the interactions of the squad, and then Ross, Betty Ross's dad, who chases the Hulk, is now president, and now they're having to work together, and he doesn't really trust him totally. It's a whole mess, but he's trying to work with him. Then some stuff happens, blah, 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 blah. Now they're in conflict. General gist of the story. So technically Ross is the villain, but he's being manipulated by another person. Okay, it's an old movie. If you haven't seen it already, I don't know what to tell you. It's been out for a while. But I think it's the leader that you saw in the original Hulk, where he gets the juice on his head and he just disappears. Well, Ross had taken him. He was helping him do some different stuff and held him kind of prisoner. So he's actually manipulating Ross as revenge, yada, 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 yada. Here's the thing. There's a couple of things that happen that don't make any sense. People are like MacGuffins, where the only way that would happen is if the movie needs it to happen. There were a couple moments like you're like, man, that's not freaking realistic. But the main problem that I had is in the beginning of the movie, they're all having these conversations, this dialogue. It's freaking terrible. I don't know what draft of the script we was watching. I don't know what happened in the beginning of the filming of this movie, but their interactions together, the three main male leads, Anthony Mackie, Captain America, Lil McFalcon, and Black Captain America, old school Black Captain America, Isaiah Bradley. When they're together, it just doesn't feel real, right? Like they don't gel well. And so it makes the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie hard to get into. And I'm like, all right, man, well, it's probably going to pick up. And later on, it does pick up. Later on, the interactions get better. Later on, it's cooler. And that's good. Couple of things that are weird. Isaiah Bradley's ridiculously strong. So anytime anybody's trying to capture him or do anything with him, anytime you're trying to capture him or do anything with him, it turns into a bit of a situation, right? Because realistically, he has to let people capture him. But people, it's so weird. They'll see, oh, there's a pirate person. Let's try to yank him up and be rude or slam him on the ground. Doesn't make any sense. A dude's super powerful, can murder you at any point in time. It's just dumb. So I really wasn't super impressed with some of the logic in the movie. Some people were just overacting, and here's the main problem with really the movie, that why I don't think it's that great. You've already seen this movie. It's not that different from Captain America and what is it? I don't remember if it's Civil War or Winter. I think it's Winter Soldier. It's very similar themes to that. There's a bunch of other movies that are mixed in. Now they have, I forget her name, but is the Israeli superhero in here. She's in here. The one that has an Israeli flag on her as her costume. Well, she's in the movie, but she's got a different name. She's kind of set up to be like the new Black Widow. But the problem is that like Black Widow is a vixen. This woman is short, and like her proportions are kind of distracting. Like her arms seem a little long for her height, and she's not in a costume. She's just like a normal suit. So she's doing stuff, and you're like, she's fighting, and you're like, the fighting looks violent and fast, but she doesn't look like she could do that. So I'm like, well, they don't explain if she has powers or not, or she's a super soldier. And if they did, maybe I missed that part, but it just wasn't super believable to me. But she's got a distracting look, and so I didn't really. Sometimes for casting purposes, you're trying to do a thing and be different, but sometimes when you do that, it's freaking distracting. You know, if you get Captain America and he's a dude missing one eye and he's got a freaking American flag patch on the eyeball, yo, it's going to be weird, and it's going to distract people from the show for a bit. I don't think she was a great choice. I think they could have went a different route with that. And I don't know if they played down the Israeli heritage, because at first I thought she was Russian. I think maybe because of the war, they tried to play it down. I don't know what was happening, but it wasn't super great. Let's see what else. It's pretty much it. I mean, the story was okay, but it was a rehash of a bunch of other movies that you've already seen. And that's what made it not, like, it doesn't feel original. When you watch, you're like, oh, that's Winter Soldier. Oh, that's Black Panther. Oh, that's that. Oh, we're redoing the whole thing with Winter Soldier where your guy is a bad guy, but blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, all right, well, I guess. But when you watch something like that, it doesn't feel, it's just boring. It's boring because you, in your back of your head, you're going, I've already seen this. So is it worth the watch? I mean, it's okay if you're freaking bored on a Tuesday afternoon. You can catch it on a matinee or whatever. Sure, but realistically, it's the kind of thing you could skip. You could wait for that one to come out and stream it. If you got Movie Pass, you can see something at a discount. Great. It's probably fine for that. But a big date night, getting everybody together for a big Marvel screening, I don't think this is really worth it. Not terrible. People are saying it's the worst. It's not the worst. It's just meh. And the problem is when you're competing with Daredevil and Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine and stuff that is super popular and goes hard in a direction, and you don't do that, by comparison, your stuff's going to seem real weak. And that's kind of what this has going on. I will say, like I said, from the fighting, it was fun. Captain America Falcon does use his powers very well. I don't like the fact that his suit, though, seems to have every power under the freaking sun now, which makes sense from a realistic standpoint that in the real world, yeah, everybody would have Iron Man tech. Everybody would have vibranium, whatever. But from a show where people are supposed to be distinctive characters and have distinctive power sets and move sets, when you start getting that level of redundancy, it's like the next Avengers is just going to be a bunch of Iron Man suits. Because freaking why not? Right? So like, I think Marvel's going to have to find a way to work with that. Because then what? You're going to come out with the X-Men, and then the X-Men are going to be fighting everybody. Ooh, Juggernaut's so tough. Man, we should get some Iron Man suits. Really? Vibranium claws on Wolverine. What are we doing? So I'm saying, like, it just starts to get a little weird. So it's not terrible. It's just not, it's not great. And I'm really curious where Marvel's going to go with all this. They were leaning heavy into magic, Doctor Strange and Wanda, and Agatha Harkness and all that stuff. But they're all seem to be doing a lot of mechanical Tony Stark modification, vibranium tech, Black Panther stuff. So I I'm very confused as to where this is all going, how it's all going to intersect in the next set. But we'll keep watching. We keep telling you what it is. But that's pretty much it. If I have to give it out of 5 stars, 5 blades, I'd probably give it like 2.5. 3 means you probably should watch it in theaters. 2 is like, it's not the worst thing, but it's not great. It's okay. 2.5. 2.5. It's worth watching if you got nothing going on, want to watch an action movie. If you like Anthony Mack, go for it. Also, why in all these movies is Harrison Ford having an issue with his kids? I mean, you got Han Solo getting stabbed by his kid, and then we're in this other movie, and he's arguing with his daughter, and she hates him, and it's a whole thing. I'm just saying, like, then we got Indiana Jones. He's got his young apprentice. He has an issue. Like, it's like, does he hate young people? Is that the theme we're going for? He's going to be a crotchety old man in every freaking movie. You can't be the same dude, bro. You gotta switch some stuff up here. Anyways, that's all I got. 2.5 blades. If you guys spend more than like $7.85 to watch this movie, I probably wouldn't do it. That's that. The Violence Conductor, Benjamin Reddick, aka the Violence Conductor, aka Lord Violence. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. This is the Austin Action Addicts podcast, and we will catch you on the next one. And this has been a quick hit. Next time you probably see the whole squad.